Your story. I've ran across a lot of artists, and while I was in prison, and guys with just crazy skills, man. And you know, it's good to see that you turned yours into a profession, and you were able to actually utilize that to build your business. And I think listening to you talk, one of the biggest things that made the difference was you sobering up.
Oh yeah,
You know what I mean? Because you
100%.
separate yourself from that crowd
Right,
where, when
right,
you're doing that, it's like you don't have no problem throwing away everything
right.
because those people don't have no problem throwing away.
100%.
Where once you've seen that you had something greater
Uh-huh.
and you've seen that purpose, you were able to follow in that calling, man.
Exactly.
And that I think
Exactly.
that was the key factor. What I took away from everything you said when you were talking, and I'm visualizing your
Yeah.
skill set and your family, not wanting you to get caught up. And it was a
Yeah.
blessing you didn't go up north to the state, because then you could have got pushed in some other
Well,
shit.
yeah,
And
I would have been
you know what I
tattooing
mean?
there. I'll
Yeah,
probably right now. I'll probably be tattooing there.
doing stuff for the
You
for the
know,
gang. You know what
that's
I mean?
what I
Just a
mean.
lot more pressure and
So it was a
yeah,
huge blessing, man.
yeah.
And I always said that it was a blessing in disguise. And yeah, you're right. I mean, you called me straight out on it, bro. If I didn't get away from that crowd and that scene and that bar group, like I said, of all them bars I was 86 from, and all that same group of people that would bar hop those bars, because when I got out, boom, I bolted straight to Acton, which is like the middle of fucking
Yeah,
nowhere.
acting ain't nothing
And I
out
lived
there.
out there by myself for a little over a year, and it had its own perks and then its own drawbacks as well. But basically, yeah, eliminating myself from that and actually having to do what I was told. I had to attend all these classes. And I had to. Unfortunately, I still had to drive illegally for a fucking year, because they don't let you drive, but they require you to be at these classes and shit.
Hmm.
You know. But yeah, at the end of the day, that was like the turning point, I think, of where I realized, like, I can't do this fucking on a daily basis, like drinking and partying. And thank God I got slammed down in the worst way, but made me realize that, like, you can't do that.
Well, another thing too,
You
when you
know.
said your family about you getting comfortable in there, that's another thing, man. It's like you don't want to be like, oh, this ain't that bad, because now it becomes normal.
Yeah.
So then the chances you take if you get caught, it's like, well, I was in there before, it wasn't that bad,
Yeah.
and that's a
Man,
horrible
the
mentality.
night that I was getting released, there was a guy that was, basically like probably a homeless or a transient, bro, and he just took off on the CO. And we didn't get released for hours later, bro, but he just took off on this CO. And it was basically because he had already said he didn't want to go out on the streets. And I'm sitting here like, man, I can't wait, bro. I've been Xing off every single day I'm in here on my calendar.
Well, they call those. There's the people who do that like right before they're about to get released, and they go and they'll test dirty, or like you said, they'll take off on another
Yeah,
inmate because
yeah.
really they don't want to go home.
That's what I'm
There's
saying.
nothing
They
to go
got
home
they
to.
got three hots in the cot right there,
Right
man.
there, no
They
responsibility,
don't need to,
and they
yeah.
can just talk to people through the
Straight
phone,
up.
through the glass or
Yeah.
whatever. But they don't have to raise their kids.
No.
They don't have to pay a bill. They don't have to do
No,
nothing.
no.
They don't have to do nothing. So
Yeah.
jail is crazy, man. I mean, people, and that's one thing I always made sure, because my family used to trip out when I first got out, like, where's his mind at? Because, after doing so much time, but, I never, adjusted to that environment. I wasn't in there playing dominoes and spades
Right.
and hoop
Yeah, I
and
still can't
getting
play that. I
involved.
still
You know what I
know,
mean? Because,
but
like,
yeah,
it's like,
same.
it's like you're letting that become your normal.
Uh-huh.
And you've seen it, man. I mean, I know you've seen guys that come in and out going back, oh, I'm about to go back up to the state. And they're like, it's cool with it.
And
They're
bro,
like,
that's what they all said too. They're like, you took the 3-year felony probation, formal felony after your release, bro. They're like, that's a trap. They're like, you're gonna
trying to scare you.
Yeah, no, all the homies inside were telling me, don't sign that plea deal, man, because the 3-year formal felony probation that you're accepting in exchange for doing 3 or 7 up.
Oh, yeah.
They're saying,
Yeah.
because that was the plea deal.
Yeah.
They're saying, don't take that shit, man, because they're gonna catch you riding dirty. They're gonna catch you driving on a suspended. They're gonna catch you on a dirty test, on a whatever. Nah, I checked in every fucking time. I pissed clean every fucking time. I went to every fucking meeting that I could. I paid every fine. I installed that stupid breathalyzer thing. And then the DMV told me I didn't even have to have it. You know, but I did every single thing and stayed sober and sober and sober, and then I met, you know, the people that hired me at the last shop I was at, and then, you know, I got around other sober artists, and their game was elevating, and that's elevating my game, you know, and then finally with this coronavirus thing hit, man, and I seen a lot of like some of the good people kind of started going back down the bad road, you know,
Isolation,
and then,
depression.
yeah, and and it kind of got close to me again, and I was like, shit, man, like, you know, I'm in enough control. I can have a drink here or there, you know, and so I did, and I was like, after that, I'm like, no, you're gonna catch yourself slipping, you know, and then started analyzing because I was still clear enough to be like, what's my next move? What's my goal here? So I'm analyzing all of this, and I'm realizing that this coronavirus thing is really shutting everybody down and really making everybody like negative, and it kind of just lit a fire under me to say like, you know what, like I'm gonna take this as an opportunity to just kind of like do my thing, you know. So I kind of started separating myself from, you know, any of these little cliques within any of these shops or any of these, you know, areas, and I like, you know, and I was like, it's time for me to just do my own thing. So I started doing a couple things privately, you know, a couple VIP sessions at some hotel rooms and some things like that, and getting my travel back on, and that started feeling good, you know. And then one thing led to another, and the oldest shop in my town in Simi Valley came up for sale. This guy's been tattooing for like 35 years. The first shop in Simi Valley. And, you know, when it popped up for sale, I was like, you know what? Like, I don't know. Like, it's kind of a biker shop, has a little reputation. But I was like, I think I can probably make this work, you know? And so I get out. All right, I go ahead and chase after this. And I go and we meet with this guy. And me and my chick, we sit down with him and we're like talking it out. Is this a good idea or not? And then we kind of just like, well, kind of be stupid not to, you know. You might not ever get another chance like this again, you know what I mean? Like, to just take over like an already running, you know, shop, like a well-oiled machine. And man, was I ever wrong when thinking it was that turnkey, bro. It was not. Okay. And then, mind you, you know, in the meantime, I'm kind of also battling a couple of health issues that I think have really been a long-term effect of all the drug use and all the shit that I had done before. And while I was opening the shop that I just decided to buy, I ended up getting hospitalized, bro, for these blood clot issues. You know what I mean? Which were basically told to me by the doctor that they were from injuries from years and years ago, either the football, the fighting, the skateboarding, whatever. Something happened in my ankles and didn't heal right. And then the way I went about drinking and partying for so long, and then directly cut all of that off and went to just sitting in the chair to work, it put this issue on my health, man. And that caught me out of nowhere. You know what I mean? So I really had to realize that, like, in order for me to stay successful, that my health and being clear-minded and staying that way is the only way that I can do it. You know what I mean? And I really think that that's kind of, you know, staying along that path and staying along that work ethic is kind of probably what brought me here even today. You know, I ran into Nick at Home Depot because I was getting supplies to try to be productive and, you know, and to try to, you know, expand my art and, you know, and do some painting and things instead of like my old way of thinking used to be like, fuck man, I'll just go to the bar and get fucked up. You know what I mean? Especially when it was easy when I was married, man. I was married to a bartender. So all she wanted was for me to come visit her, you feel me? And I'm like, all right, cool. And then how can you help it? You're going to end up drunk, bro.
Well, it's just a continuing cycle, man.
Yeah, exactly, bro. So it was like, you know, so now, like I said, now I know that that's not my scene. You know what I mean? Now I know, like, you're going to catch me at Home Depot or, you know, maybe at the bank or maybe, you know, doing something at the park with the dogs or something like versus at the bar anymore. You know, I still got my Harley, but I mainly ride it by myself. I'm not bar hopping with all these dudes and shit no more. And, you know, you kind of come to this point, at least for me, like where you really realize, like, you know, that you've been given 100-second chances. You know what I mean? And now it's like the time to make it, you know, make it into something. Make this whole thing come to fruition. You know, so when I had the shop opportunity, which just came up this last May, it's been just all go since then. You know what I mean? And it's working out, man. You know, it's scary jumping on your first business venture, bro. But knowing that you're doing it with all the right intentions and, you know, for the right reasons, you start feeling the right people kind of coming around you, and you notice that your circle of people changes. You know what I mean? All those bad people have made their way kind of out of your life completely, and people like Nick, my buddy Rick, I mentioned, yourself. You know, we all kind of start to realize that there's like a bigger picture out there, you know, and that it's really up to us, you know, staying focused on that, and, you know, and not wanting to turn back to that life, which really is, it really is easier to do that, man. It's easier to just say fuck it and go get high and you know.
I look at it like a
whatever.
cop out, man.
Yeah.
It's a cop out, and it's much easier just to come up with excuses.
Yeah.
You know, but it's like you said, if you play sports or you do BMX and skateboarding, when it's time for you to go and hit center stage,
Yeah.
like the coach says, hey, Sailor, you're in.
Yeah.
You've been practicing for that moment.
All day.
Now you know what I mean? You
Now
know the
it's
play,
time.
they call the plays, you gotta, you know, this
Now
is
it's
what
time.
you've been preparing for.
Yeah.
So a lot of, you know, you gotta think that all your life this is your purpose, but it's easier to fall back like everybody else, which is
Yeah.
what majority of people do.
Yeah.
You know, the cop out way
Yeah.
is like, dude, anybody can cop out.
Yeah. Straight up.
When you talk about building your business, it's like, you know, nothing's turnkey and life is not turnkey. And that's the thing. It's like you got to be ready, and everything you've done up to this point has prepared you
Yeah.
for these challenges that you're going to face coming ahead.
Yeah.
But you're doing it, bro.
Yeah.
You know, and that's all. At the end of the day, it's all about, you know, being patient and seeing your dreams come to fruition and putting people around you who have the same vision so that
Yeah.
you guys can feed each other's visions.
Exactly.
You know.
No, I absolutely agree. I couldn't agree more. You know, the guys that I got working around me right now, it's a whole new crew. You know, obviously I took over, like I said, a shop that was already working.
Mm-hmm.
But the guys that were there, you know, weren't quite up to the standard of what I was looking for to be around.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the guys that I'm still very cool with at the last shop I was at, we were always elevating each other. You know what I mean? And that's still the case. We're still on really great terms. You know, we still hang out outside of work, you know, on our free time. You know, when it's cool to see that, like, you know, being around those more positive influences open up more doors.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, I'm getting to do these projects and these paint collaborations and these different things with these other different artists that definitely would not be possible if I was just getting high all the time.
No.
You know, if I was just worried about, you know, my next fix or some shit, or who I was gonna go beef it with at the bar, you know.
Yeah. Well, you're putting different energy into the universe now, so you're gonna get different results.
Yeah, I
And,
firmly believe
you know,
that for
so
sure.
That's one of the pluses in what you're doing now, man. And if you continue on that path and continue surrounding yourself around good people,
Yeah.
it's just more opportunities. You know, and just build momentum. I always say it's like that big heavy ball that you push and doesn't move, but as it starts moving, when it builds
Yeah.
momentum, you know, if you get in front of it, it's gonna roll you over.
Oh,
it's
straight
gonna
up.
crush
You
whoever's
can't
in front of
stop
you.
it.
You can't stop it because you built up so much momentum.
Yeah.
So you can have it going this direction, or you can have it going this direction.
Yeah.
But right now you got to go in this direction. So as
Yeah.
it keeps building, it's just like, dude, it's gonna be nonstop. But there's gonna be
Right.
other temptations that can be even greater.
Right.
And you just got to stay focused on what you're doing. And dude, everything you'll blow. You'll continue to blow.
Yeah,
So
that's the goal,
you know,
man. You know.
and that's the lesson I want our viewers to see, as far as, like, there's a lot of kids out there. It's not necessarily haven't been to jail and you shot your ops and you're gang banging and this and that.
Right.
No, it could be just, you know, hey, I'm not doing nothing bad. I'm just drinking, partying, you know,
Yeah,
and that
which-
can
But
change your life.
Yeah, I was gonna say one wrong move, man. I mean, one of my cellmates, man, that when I was in there, bro, he was in there for the same thing as me, DUI with a GBI, but he was going up for 3 years. He was doing that because he actually paralyzed the person that was in his car.
See?
You know, and so that's just, I mean,
Well, look at
and on a motorcycle, I mean, how much more you're even less protected.
well, look at the NFL player for the Raiders. You see that? NFL player, man, in Las Vegas, driving a Ferrari, man, hit some lady, man, killed her. Doing 150 some miles per hour in a Ferrari. He could have got an Uber. He got people that do that. He's an NFL player. Raiders.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I mean. Like just one simple mistake.
One thing, man. It's like, and you were so high before that moment, like life, and then now it's never the same. Mm-hmm. It's never the same, man. So you got very lucky, especially you said on the bike, bro.
Yeah.
Ooh, my God, dude. Man. 70 on the bike. You lucky to be alive.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Whew, man. You lucky to be alive, man. So, you know, you have a greater purpose, and, you know, this is definitely a message that's, you know, it's been a long time coming as far as for the universe, for people to hear this, because there's a lot of people who are at the bar right now who are doing the same stuff, you know?
Yeah, you know, it's a shame to see, like, that talent get wasted or that potential get wasted, you know, and it sucks that I think that the society puts a big pressure on young adults to have to kind of prove themselves in a way that they're cool with the drinking thing, you know. I mean, there's people that blow up on YouTube just because they drink, and that's all they do. Yeah. You know, and then there's a different side of it too, you know, and I don't know, like I said, I just know that for me, my side of it is staying just, you know, on the focus side of things, and like you said, putting the energy out there that I'm hoping to get back. And
that's right.
And then if I'm working hard on the right things, then I know the right things are going to come back at me.
That's right.
You know, and so I think that's why we're sitting here right now, really.
Yeah, for sure, man. So you guys out there listening, man, I hope this is, you know, resonates with some of you guys. You know, it's a positive story, but it has life lessons in it. And Sailor, man, I appreciate you coming out, man, because like I said, you turned, you know, something as far as art into a profession, and now you're able to have your own business, man, and that's, you know, dream come true. You don't have to work for it. You're doing your own thing. You don't have a boss.
I don't work. I you know what I mean? I don't look at it as work.
Yeah.
I just get to do what I love to make money.
There you go. There you go.
You know what I mean?
And so it's not work. It's like,
You know, so it's like, but at the same time, I didn't even look at it that way until after all the bullshit.
Yeah.
You know, because there was times where I was still tattooing, but, you know, when I was drinking, I was still looking at it as a job, you know, because I was, like, looking to make the money to go to the bar the next day.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And now I'm looking at it as, like, no, like, what's my next move? Now I'm looking at a 5-year plan. Now I'm thinking about my house or what I'm going to do next, you know what I mean? And what shop am I going to open up next and what location? You know what I mean? Stuff like that. And how am I going to build this empire that I have now? And yeah, man, it wouldn't be possible if I got caught up and stayed in there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That would have been the easiest thing to do. And then, you know, and it was just recently, actually, this last September, on the 10th of September, they dropped my my formal probation, or my formal felony probation. So.
Wow. Well, congrats on that, man. And dude, I'm glad we were able to make this interview happen, man.
Yeah,
and I appreciate you, man.
I appreciate your time, man.
Big Herc 916, fresh out, getting down with Sailor.